This is Linda Bell. I wanted to give you a quick overview of some of the course materials that will enhance your learning, particularly WileyPLUS. So if you will click on Modules, there are some things you want to access in WileyPLUS. I can click on the Read, Study, and Practice right here. By the way, if you ever want to know your grades in WileyPLUS, you can click on the WileyPLUS gradebook. So there really are two grade books. This is for my WileyPLUS grades. My grades for the course as a whole, though, are over here in Grades in Canvas. The two grade books are actually linked. So theoretically, grades from WileyPLUS are supposed to move over to grades in your course. You would want to check that fairly periodically because once in a while it doesn't move over like it should. And you want to let your instructor know. I can also access what the WileyPLUS resources by going here. Now, if I want to do homework, I'm going to click on Chapter 1 assignment and Chapter 2 assignment. But if I want to read from the ebook, see the PowerPoint slides, do some practice problems, then I want to click on the WileyPLUS Read, Study, and Practice. So it's going to open up with Chapter 1. If I want another chapter, I just click the down arrow and choose the chapter that I want. I can even do it by study objectives. Here are the ones for Chapter 1, and that would narrow down my search. This is their ebook right here. Notice it's 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. Those are the three learning objectives in the book. So I just click on that. Notice I can go to full screen to get a better view. I can print it if I want. I will tell you it's cheaper to just buy the book than to try to print it out on your own. And, and again, I'm just scrolling down so I can see all of this was for chapter learning objective number 1. By the way, this is where you want to start. So if I'm wanting to learn Chapter 1, I want to start here, read the book. Either read the ebook, or if you've ordered the physical book, read the physical book. Okay, let me go back to Read, Study, and Practice. So that's where I want to start. I want to start by learning by reading the chapter. Okay, other things. You certainly, by the way, watch and learn. This overview with Paul Kimmel, that's with the author of the book. Those are just a little extra something. They're just going to give you a brief overview of the chapter, but they're not very long and they're not detailed. So you may or may not want to bother work with those. Interactive tutorial. So if you click on it so you can kind of quickly see what it's going to look like. You can see, you'll click on things.
In recent years, financial scandals resulted in a business may be organized as a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is a business owned by one person. Owner-operated businesses such as barbershops.
Okay, so I'm going to go from that. I also want to do on that link, there was the demonstration problem. I need to enable Adobe Flash Player real quick. So this also will take me through a little analysis. So it's going to go through. This is actually a problem, and it's going to ask you to choose particular answers, and I'm just going to kind of go through here, and then you submit. If I get it right, then I get to go on to the next particular item. And even if I miss it, let's just say balance sheet there. I know that's wrong. It'll say incorrect. Let's choose another wrong one, retained earnings, incorrect again, and then I can have it show me the correct answer. And so there you can learn and kind of be quizzed simultaneously. So that's also helpful. But I am not assigning these kinds of activities. This is just here for extra resources, extra practice. Definitely the book, you want to read. These tutorials are up to you, whether you want to do the interactive tutorial, do the demonstration problem. The PowerPoint slides, if you like looking at those, or this lecture presentation. So classroom resources, PowerPoint will come up. I think it's going to take a little while to open up. Let's see. If it doesn't take too long, I'll leave it. Okay, so then I can go through here and see the PowerPoints. For me, Personally, I don't overly see the value of the PowerPoint slides when they're right out of the textbook. I'd rather read the book and see the whole picture, but I do understand some people differ and they like the PowerPoints. There's also an audio review. Latest accounting news, you might want to click on that. But these cookie creations, that isn't anything that we're going to be doing. We're not going to be doing that problem, or the Beacon Lumber simulation set. Challenge exercises. I don't know. Again, you might want to look at those, you might not. Solutions walkthrough videos. This will even tell you, so you can go look at the WileyPLUS assignments, and if I've assigned any of these, you may want to come back to these and look at them. I say that, but at the same time, I'll show you the actual homework where it shows you the links. It'll give you these videos anyhow. But if you want more detail, here it is. So those are solution walkthroughs for certain exercises and problems at the end of the book. I say the end of the book. If you have the physical book, you'll know what I'm talking about. At the end of the chapter, there are exercises and problems. Some of those are in your WileyPLUS chapter assignments, and I'll show you that here after a bit. The applied skills videos, actually I think those are pretty good. Here in chapter 1 and 2, you cannot overdo on learning the financial statements. So this is going to be a little recording on how to prepare the financial statements.
In this video, we will look at how financial statements are prepared using an adjusted trial balance. We use the adjusted trial balance.
I don't know if you can read that or not, but there is a narration going on as it goes through.
These balances include
See if I can skip forward. So it's going to kind of go through, and it'll show you how to write out the financial statements. So again, it's a step-by-step showing you the financial statements and leading you through that. By the way, you should recognize this. This is the textbook. It's right out of the book. You can see it in the reading as well. Some students, though, are more audio-visual, so these little videos are helpful. And then not only for those 3 financial statements, but there's one for the cash flow. If you have forgotten some math, like how do I round, how do I calculate percentages, how do I do ratios, there's resources for that. The Excel resources, quite frankly, I have some recordings in the course that are probably going to be more targeted, that'll help you better than what's here in WileyPLUS. Review and practice. There are crossword puzzles that are kind of fun. Again, I don't assign these. There are flashcards for those of you that like the electronic flashcards. For Chapter 1, it will help you memorize some things. Okay, we've gone through all of these, actually. All right, then practice. There actually are more practice assignments. So if you want to do the self-assessment, let me click on Next. I can just keep going through those. You will find, though, on the exams, I never give multiple choice questions. I just don't like, I never assign true false. I don't like true false. There will be multiple choice questions, though. And the nice thing here is you can always check the answer. These are not graded activities. So again, so more practice. If I want to do the brief exercises, a review, exercises, problem, self-study. Again, these are for you to work in WileyPLUS. They are not for points, but you can type things in. I haven't even looked at the problem, so I don't even know, and I can check my answer. Notice I did get I guess the date correctly, but everything in red is incorrect. If I want to see the answer, then I just click on Show Answer, and it'll show me the correct solution. And then I can go, it'll tell me, what I got right, what I didn't. I'm going to go back. That was only the income statement. I can do the next part. Click on it. Isn't it coming up? Might be that I had to finish that out to actually get the next part, but that'll be retained earnings and that sort of thing. Okay, so all of those are resources within Wiley, the read, study, and practice component of WileyPLUS. So read, study, and practice. And by the way, they even added more practice. If you go back to read, study, and practice, right by the ebook area are all of these. What I had just shown you down at the very bottom. Go down here. Well, I need to keep scrolling, don't I? All of these extra practice are back up here. So you can just do all of this just for extra practice. You may find this helpful when you're studying for a test. Okay, so that's WileyPLUS, read, study, and practice. A lot of good resources there. Now, how does that differ? You also learn accounting by applying. So I'm going to go back to Unit 1, Chapter 1 assignment. By the way, you're going to see the instructor view of this. So, just kind of going through. Notice I have the do it. It is going to tell you what I'm assigning. So if you have the physical book, at the end of Chapter 1, you'll see there are do it activities, there are these brief exercises, there are exercises, and there are problems. These are all right out of there. I just selected a few. Notice you have 3 attempts to get it right. And so, I click on next. Notice I can link, by the way, it is giving answers. I can link to the text real quick. And so I can read to the text to try to answer that. I'm going to do next. Oh, by the way, you should have noticed there is an interactive tutorial for this particular one. So for that particular topic. And next, I wanted to keep going. Oop, I missed the one I wanted. Okay, and for this one, there's a little recording. We actually had sort of seen this earlier on how to write out the financial statement. So I just wanted you to see that there are these that that some of the recordings will actually, some of the problems in WileyPLUS will have little recordings that are similar to but not identical to your assignment to help with that. Okay, and by the way, yes, I've given you this, but by the way, your actual assignment, they actually use different numbers, so you can see these numbers, but your solutions are going to be different anyhow. Okay, so that's in WileyPLUS and getting around. So I want to go back to Module 1 and kind of look at what should you do and when should you do it. So here's a big overview. It's going to tell you all your deadlines and that sort of thing. But you want to start by reading the book. Now, in Chapter 1, and only Chapter 1, I actually did make a lecture recording. So, you can click on those. Just because I went ahead and made a couple of recordings because knowing and understanding the financial statements is so important. Chapter 1 and 2 are laying a huge overview foundation. So very important that you understand what is going on. So I did do a recording. I will tell you this first one, if you go about 4 minutes in, you're going to see something unique. You're going to see I'm kind of using the PowerPoints from the author of the book. About 4 minutes in, I kind of go on my own to discuss the role of accounting in society. So 4 minutes in. Also on this video, about 20 minutes in, I'm going to talk about the 3 business activities, and I have a little spiel of my own, a little visual of my own that I think students find helpful, and it's different from the author. So 4 minutes in, 20 minutes in on this video, I do stem away from the author's PowerPoint slides. And then on part 2, about 9 minutes in, I do something a little different with the balance sheet equation that you might find useful. Again, you may want to watch the whole thing because it will go over everything. But if you want to just see the unique parts, go 9 minutes in, and then also 14 minutes in will also uniquely go over the 3 activities on the cash flow statement. So 9 minutes in and 14 minutes in for unique things on those recordings. So you may find those helpful, but you still will want to have read the book first. Okay, so read the book. You may want to watch these recordings. If you're wanting to do the extra credit, There are some videos telling you how to use Excel. Those are my recordings. And then you're going to go to the Chapter 1 assignment. Do that in WileyPLUS. The discussion probably should be done after you have finished some of the assignments. You definitely want to have read some of the chapter, or excuse me, you want to have read the chapter, ideally have worked some of these assignments to apply the chapter concepts. Then you're really ready for the discussion.